You read it?
I rewatched it, watched it back.
Okay.
It's interesting because you sound very different than you do now.
My voice?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The whole thing feels quite
You see, I'm changing.
not in appearance, just. But like, looking back, were you nervous that day? What were you thinking at that point?
Probably terrified. I mean, you haven't coached anybody at the highest level, and in the middle of the season, without any preparation, without really a coaching staff, you get asked to do this amazing and big job. I was looking around the people that were making that decision, and they were so convinced, you know. So first of all, obviously, you want to respond to that trust. Obviously, I had very strong feelings towards the club. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't disappoint anybody, that I was capable of doing it. And the only way to do it is start day by day and start to experience that, start to get close to the players, to the staff, and see, okay, this can work.
You couldn't say at the time, but it was obviously a bit of a mess. Maybe they all knew that when you came in. It was difficult. It was a difficult time for the club.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in those first few weeks where you were like, wow, this is bigger job than I thought it was before?
Yes, because there's a lot of situations that kept surprising us that it was very difficult. I mean, the COVID one brought all the kinds of stuff that make the life much more difficult. One internally, and the limitations with how we could change the squad and the staff as well. There were a lot of issues. And the other one, it was related to, we could not communicate with our supporters. So that distance was something that I was really worried about, because I could absolutely break anything before we started. But they had some patience. We started to win games and started to look better, and we had the time to shape it up and start to build what we wanted.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Over the 5 years, one big element that stuck out to me was the change in culture you obviously embedded in the club. From when you first took over to now, it's a completely different set of values and culture. And part of that was the contract terminations with some of the older players a few years ago. How difficult was that at the time, and what did that teach you in terms of players that you were then going to bring in afterwards?
Well, the first thing is understanding what is a good culture and a bad culture. And to do that, what I did is basically ask through somebody that I employed to give me their opinion of how they feel to work in this football club, whether it's players, staff, in all kind of roles, in all kind of responsibilities. And then I had a very clear picture of what they thought and how they felt about it. And it was clear that it had to be changed.
And that must have been a pivotal point, surely, because once you've obviously uprooted, the culture changed everything.
Because that were the roots of our football club. So if those roots were damaged at that level, there was nothing to build without that. So the first emphasis and where we have to put the energy and big decision, it was to make sure that those roots were clean and were in the right context, in the right place to be able to create and build what we wanted to build.
Jordan?
Who was that you employed?
Sorry?
You said you employed someone.
Yeah.
Who was it?
A person that is specialized in that. A very good friend of mine. Yeah.
And did that ultimately help?
Very well. I think it helped. He brought a lot of clarity, and it's not something random that is a feeling. I wanted to get away from a feeling. No, because in the past this happened. No, it's not a feeling. It's a fact. You tell me how you feel every single day about this relationship, about the way we communicate, about your part, your responsibility, this and that, and then it's something that is real.
A friend in football.
Mm-hmm.
Who's close to the club.
You're not gonna get the name. We can try.
Okay.
I mean, just going back to when your first day, you were really young, you were like 37, weren't you, at the time? Looking back, can you believe, how you managed to cope with all that pressure at such a young age, and how have you matured as a person as well?
I have managed because I have people around me that they had a lot of faith and trust in me, and I have people that are much better than me in many aspects. Like always, surround yourself with the best people, with people who have more experience than you, a different vision, different kind of eyes, different ways of thinking, and make sure that you listen to them, you give them responsibility and help you in the process, because obviously I'm still very young, and as I said, I have so much to learn. But on that period, obviously, I had zero experience.
And do you think that you've become a little bit calmer? You talked about this a little bit this season, but during games and stuff, you mellowed out a little bit more than when you first started?
I think so. I think it was necessary. I think it's better. I think the players need different stuff, as I said before, and hopefully it helps them.
Okay, last couple. John?
The first 5 years of the Arteta era, saw you in the Amazon documentary when you were jumping about with light bulbs. How do you explain that?
Well, thanks God you haven't seen a lot. So that was just a small part. I haven't seen it, so difficult to say. I think people comment on those aspects. I don't know. It's the way I am. I like to think on different ways to inspire players, to get the staff players together. It's a very special, unique generation that we have in our hands, very different to when I was a player, even though I'm still young. So I think they require other stuff, and certainly the dressing room requires other stuff that probably now they don't.
That was a way for a lot of people to see the human side of you, or a side of you that they hadn't seen.
Yeah, I think it was at the end, obviously. At the beginning, I wasn't probably a big fan of it because obviously we had enough. And then we have to go through, having cameras and mics every single day for 24 hours, There's no intimacy, everything is shared. And everybody was a bit worried. I think the reflection, especially from the club's perspective, it was positive to be transparent and everybody to understand how we work, how much people cares about this club. And if that was the case, then great.
Gary?
Do you keep mementos, Mikel? You get mementos in the last 5 years. What would they be?
Momentum.
Mementos.
That's like Spanish, mementos.
Yeah.
I have a lot, it's constantly recording. I have so many of those. The first day, honestly, it's like a dream comes true, because I really dreamed about that moment, but really realistically 3 or 4 times. And talking to my wife, my kids, I think one day it's going to happen. And when it actually happens, it's like, is it really happening? So I better enjoy it because I feel so privileged to be where I am, and I don't want to not do it because of the responsibility and what the role brings with it.
Does that mean you think you may have kept you kind of reflect on? The other day you spoke about you might actually watch some of the videos from that period. I mean, we weren't really sure if you were being joking or whether actually you will do that.
No, and I do that, and I have people who does that for me for sure. And because my opinion, I think my tendency is going to be looking and focusing on one thing, but I think I have to improve in many, many levels. My communication skill and the way I talk to players, decisions that I make, what decisions I make on the bench when I have time, the way we prepare things, the staff that I have around you are in the right roles. Do they feel that they can increase responsibility? My relationship with ownership support, there's so much on that job that you can get better at. So there's no limits.
Will you do anything tonight at the team hotel?
Sorry?
Will you do anything tonight at the team hotel to mark it?
To mark my thing?
Tonight, yes.
No, I already done the tunnel. Everybody hit me hard. So that's enough. Let's focus on the game tomorrow.
And sorry, Rachel, finally Rachel Pierre.
You spoke earlier about how you're constantly thinking about having the perfect manager for Arsenal Football Club. And obviously, just like there can't be a perfect football player or a perfect football club, is part of that impossible target what keeps you going?
100%. And how imperfect we are, especially, and how many areas there are still to explore and improve. And that's the beauty of this job. That is limitless. You can work 24 hours and you still have a lot of things to do. And every day is a new day, it brings you new challenges. And you open one window and it's like, wow, and it gives you energy and let's explore that one. And I love that. I love it because I have as well a lot of staff that they are exactly the same. So you get in the building and there is always that energy going on. And I think the players value that as well, because if not, it becomes a little boring and very systematic every day.
Okay, everyone, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.